Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2005 Elan Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the National Tour of Contact, Miss Suzanne Tranny McClure.
Affirmation of life, to energize the spectator into keener awareness of the vigor, the mystery, the humor, the variety, and the wonder of life. This is the function of the American dance. We learn by practice, whether it means to learn to dance by practicing dancing or to learn to live by practicing living. The principles are the same. One becomes, in some area, an athlete of God. There is a vitality, a life force, energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all of time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and be lost. The body says what words cannot. Martha Graham.
It is our pleasure to welcome Councilmember Gail Brewer.
Thank you very much. I'm here representing Borough President C. Virginia Fields, and I want to thank Geoffrey, Doig-Marx, and Bruce Robert Harris for constantly supporting so many young choreographers and for, of course, bringing us this wonderful production here tonight. And I say that as elected officials, we need to produce affordable housing as you produce the great choreographers. So this is a proclamation and a very special one. Dance is a form of expression that combines the beauty of the human body, the emotional response to a musical or a rhythmic setting, and the creativity of the choreographer in telling a story or devising new and challenging images for individual dancers. Susan Stroman is the recipient of 5 Tony Best Choreographer Awards, 1992, Crazy for You, 1995, Showboat, 2000, Contact, 2001, The Producers, and the Best Director Musical, as well as 6 Tony nominations, not only for choreography, but as a director. And her versatility extends to choreography for the New York City Opera, Don Giovanni, the New York City Ballet, Blossom Got Kissed, the Martha Graham Company, But Not For Me, television specials in tribute to Leonard Bernstein and Stephen Sondheim, and for 10 years, A Christmas Carol, Madison Square Garden's annual spectacular, directed by her late husband. And Susan Stroman received the American Choreography Award for Center Stage, a Columbia Pictures featured film, in addition to a record 4 Fred Astaire Awards, 5 Drama Desk Awards, 8 Outer Critics Circle Awards, 2 Olivier Awards, and the Lucille Bortel Award, and is making her film directing debut on the eagerly anticipated movie version of The Producers. Now, therefore, I, C. Virginia Fields, Borough President of Manhattan, do hereby applaud and commend Susan Stroman, the girl in the yellow dress, for her outstanding contributions to advancing choreographic styling as an exquisite means of interpretation. Join with her peers here tonight in expressing our heartfelt congratulations, deep admiration, and appreciation of her innovative achievements as reflected in her choice as this year's winner of the prestigious Elan Award. And so today, October 10th, in the city of New York, in the borough of Manhattan, it's Susan Stroman Day, C. Virginia Fields, Borough President. Thank you very much and congratulations.
It is my great pleasure to introduce the creator, artistic directors, and producing team for the 2005 Elan Awards, Geoffrey Doig-Marx and Bruce Robert Harris.
Good evening. My name is Geoffrey Doig-Marx, and this is Bruce Robert Harris. I would like to thank you for coming out tonight, for supporting dance, and for supporting the Elan Awards. The Elan Awards were created 6 years ago to showcase the work of choreographers while honoring one choreographer who has changed the way we view dance. Tonight, that choreographer is Susan Stroman. The Elan Awards has grown and now incorporates many other programs. The Elan Awards Masterclass Series is a 2-day program where students study with dancers and choreographers who have become part of the Elan Awards family. The Elan Awards Dance Reach program is a program that brings school children of all ages to view dance. The Elan Awards Dancers Run sells tickets to students who might not otherwise be able to afford to see the show, paying $10. And coming soon, the Elan Awards Summer Festival. This will be another venue where choreographers will have an additional voice. Each year we accept applications from choreographers who want their work shown. The DVDs are then sent to our honoree board who view all the submissions, and then it is my job to call selected choreographers and put a show order together. A business partnership is like a marriage, good, bad, and indifferent. Without my business partner, a man who works so hard all year, making sure that every T is crossed and every I is dotted, you would not see what we have to offer you tonight, nor would we have any of the programs that go with the Elan Awards. Bruce Robert Harris is the very backbone of our show and our organization. I would like to give a very personal thank you from the bottom of my heart. Bruce and I were actually talking earlier this week about Susan Stroman and how her work has changed our lives. Bruce told me that he saw Crazy for You 3 times, and I told him that I saw Crazy for You 12 times. I had to keep ducking down because the balcony, I was standing in the back in the $24 standing room seats, but 12 times, loved it. I kept trying to figure out how she had gotten all those girls out of the car tap dancing. They just kept coming and coming and coming. Susan Stroman's choreography tells a story and keeps the plot moving. She dazzles us with her brilliance and makes us wonder how she turned a pickaxe into a twirling object of beauty, or how she created a tap dance with old lady walkers and gave frogs the power of flight. She has been awarded with numerous accolades for her work and continues to raise the bar and pave the way for future generations of choreographers. Susan Stroman is a dancer's choreographer who challenges what we know by changing all the rules. That is why we honor her tonight. Before I turn the mic over to Bruce, I would like to thank our crew, cast, and volunteers. I would also like to thank Lifestyle Media for all the work they have done for us, and in conclusion, honor the memory of my friends, Mark Marino and Josh Whittick, by dedicating tonight's show to them. Thank you. It is my honor to introduce you to my friend, Bruce Robert Harris.
Good evening. A few years ago, I sat in a theater and I watched a brilliant show. In one section, the men were holding the women and they were dancing together. The lights were drawn down on them and their partners stepped into the light, and instantly, before my eyes, the women became musical instruments the men were playing. I knew at that second I was watching something extraordinary, some inventive choreography on Broadway I had never seen. I am, of course, talking about Crazy for You. It was not the last innovation that night. I stayed glued to my chair, and I watched what else this woman would come up with. I was not disappointed, and I look forward to every minute. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for using your imagination, creativity, to see dance in a whole new way. You are the new generation of dance choreography, and people look up to you for those inventions. Those are the images that make us want to dance. It is my pleasure to give a special note of thanks to a few people who were so instrumental in this year's show. First and foremost, Susan, your friend and mine, Scott Bishop, who has been so helpful to us with Tomei Cousin to bring some of the surprises tonight you're about to see. You've helped pull all the strings together, and from the bottom of my heart, I said thank you. Also, thank you to Dance Spirit Magazine, Lifestyle Media, Capizio, Deborah Wheat at NYC & Company, and Maggie Payton at the Borough President's Office, and also Dance Theater Workshop. You've all been so helpful with this evening's performance. We received additional support this year from Frankfurt Kernit, Jamie DeRoy and Friends, and Joseph J. Nicholson. We also went to print without thanking one of the most interesting and exciting elements of this year's show. Thank you to John Fonostock for the new lights, and congratulations on your new company, Altman Stage Lighting. Please allow me to thank my angels for this year's show: Maggie Payton, Bradford Sussman, Michael Mullitz, Patrick O'Rourke at Big Apple Lights, Rick Ferrara at Excel Moving Lights. And this presentation couldn't be made for you, Susan, without all of them. Christine Ryan for this wonderful space, and Andrew Grant, Connie Baker, and John Sabo. Thank you. Our volunteer coordinator, Tamara Waynard, and my assistants, Michael Pesci, Ron Turgo, Chuck Sachs, because of who I can breathe tonight. Lastly, I want to thank someone who had a vision, and that is Geoffrey Doig-Marx. The vision to make a show that was not only inventive and creative, but an idea that no one had ever done before. I believed in that vision, and I've stayed with him now 6 years to present the show that you see tonight. Please put out the word, keep submitting work, new choreographers to the Elan Awards, spread that word. Thank you for your support, and thank you all for coming back year after year. We want this to build stronger. Thank you.
My whole life has been about dance, my friends, my family, you know, and so it's just, as I say, it sounds corny, but it's just such an incredible privilege to be able to work within the chosen field and to feel so connected to this art form which is, you know, entertaining and spiritual and physical and mental and musical and theatrical all at the same time, you know, all those different ingredients. So it's kind of intoxicating.
Sure, we disagree.
Yeah, we disagree.
Not really fight. I always like to call them, and they not even yelling or anything, just artistic differences. Because you do have 3 different choreographers.
Yeah.
And actually, I told Nina that because, like I said, me and Nina have worked together, but I've never worked with David. So in this triangle, I was like, okay, Nina, you have to be the president. You have to call the shots. You could ask us for input, but I was like, for me personally, it'd be better if you come in, you know, you have this, and then you say, okay, can you do something like, and then I'll do something. You say yes or no. Because with 3 different choreographers in a room, you're going to get 3 different people doing what they want to do. And then it's going to be, you know, we need somebody, the president, to take it and pull it together into the direct line, you know, because that will happen. That will happen.
Oh, We are the stars which sing. We sing with our light. We are the birds of fire. We fly over the sky. Our light is a voice. We make a road for the spirit to pass over. For the spirit to pass over.
I really just want my dancers to just be true to themselves and just dance and just let loose and make it their own. You know, I'm all about, you know, especially being a dancer as well. I know how important it is to a choreographer for the dancer to just own the piece. You know, once the choreography is learned, you know, it just becomes theirs and they can extend it as far as they want to take it, you know. So I'm a true advocate of that. So
always to ourselves. It mustn't get any better. It's in our hands. It always was. It's in our hands. In our hands is all there. In our hands, it's all there. In our hands. Well, now aren't we scaring ourselves unnecessarily? Aren't we trying too hard? 'Cause it's in our hands. It's in our hands. It's all here. It's in our hands. Look no further. Look no further. It's in our hands. It always was. It's in our hands. It's in our hands. It's in our hands. It's in our
I think jazz music is a very difficult genre of music to choreograph to a lot of the times because musically jazz music came from improvisation. And I wanted this piece to have that feel about it. I wanted to look like two people just coming into a situation and giving their opinion about, a subject. And that you can't plan. You don't know what's going to happen when you meet somebody, conversation-wise. So I wanted it to be very, seem almost like a structured improvisation with the music itself. I used just the basic drums. I didn't add any saxophones or anything like that because I feel that it lends itself more to the excitement of the piece. Drums are very exciting. They have a depth. They have a particular tone that can really evoke different emotions. They generally get people very excited. So that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted it to give the feeling of kind of like building up towards an argument of some kind.
and be almost as if you're pulled somewhere that you couldn't, you know, put into words where or what or anything. You're sort of going, and there's some struggle in it, definitely internal feelings of pull and push and struggle to get wherever you're going or reaching for someone or something. But there, at the same time, there's that abandonment that there's a freedom in it at the same time as that struggle. And yeah, the music is in that, the circular movement, it kind of whirls you in, and that's great. I'm glad that you got that from it, because that's a great thing to get.
had the idea to incorporate the dancers with the musician before I picked the music, and then my friend, the original pianist, played me a bunch of different things that he was comfortable with. And I thought the Chopin was beautiful, and I loved all the theme and variation in it. And it was a perfect length for a piece, so I just went with that. And out of that develops the story within the piece, which is about a father figure and 3 daughters. And the father, who is symbolized by the pianist, is only focused on his work and doesn't pay any attention to the 3 daughters. So then there's the 2 daughters who kind of accept that, and then the youngest daughter rebels from that and tries to move on with her life. And then at the end, the father figure moves away, and the 2 sisters continue his tradition, and the other one is just looking, yearning for more. So yeah, it's like the idea of the pianist and the dancers came first, then the music, and then from the music and working on the piece came the idea of the story with the father and the 3 daughters.
I like the physical usage of something on stage that motivated me, as well as with the body. It was real important for me to use something always. I felt like it kind of fit, it fit like the whole picture, and it made more sense to me. Like whether it was a chair or it was, you know, something that I could just feel like is more human. Because I think when my movement gets a little bit going, it can be a little bit like you don't really know where we're headed. And having that one focal point that doesn't move, that kind of like stays there, can kind of keep coming back to that same thought. So that was my idea when I first started working with things, was that I could always have that one thought, and yet I could still go away from it and explain other things that I was trying to say. But recently I just did a piece for Odyssey, the professional company in Utah, and what I did instead of using set pieces or anything like that was I used bodies as like statues, and so now I'm getting more into like being able to use like the body more as a figure of speech, as a figure of, you know, what I'm trying to say. Where at first I was kind of probably just learning and trying to figure out how to explain my movement and what I'm trying to do. I like to have something that was very still, and because my mind was going so fast. So.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Please welcome one of Broadway's most talented and gifted directors, the one and only Mr. Hal Prince.
Thank you for applauding. I wanted to come in from there, and they assured me the hand would get me all the way across the stage. I think it won't come as a surprise to any of you that choreographers can be merciless. Some of them, some of the best, sadistic. Susan Stroman doesn't fit that. Nor, I'm happy to say, do some of your earlier honorees, Rob and Graciela, with whom I've also worked. As I was leaving the house tonight, my wife Judy said the following about Susan, and I quickly tore up some of what I was going to say and wrote this down. In her words, who else can make the same journey from toe shoes to walkers? Think about it. I also wanted to tell Susan something she doesn't know because it's a little known fact, even though she did the producers in London, and that is that walkers in London are mysteriously referred to as Zimmer frames. I have, I'm telling you guys, you should be laughing, but okay. I love this girl, and I admire the hell out of her ever since I first saw her work on Flora the Red Menace, a show which my colleagues and I totally botched up. I don't know how she took all that and made that happen, although the score was glorious, but she certainly made something out of something we hadn't accomplished. And then, you know, all the rest of the stuff, Crazy for You, Contact. I'm going to save my comments about a very particular small and choice experience that she gave me for After the Following, which is a film that's been put together on Susan Stroman's career.
the price is always small. Mr. Pettywee! Pettywee! Annual!
Come in for the time of your life. We promise you the time of your life. 'Cause every day is the time of your life when it's time to play.
Climb aboard, Rita, come on, climb aboard.
You know, dance has lifts and dips and unexpected turns, just as real life does. Had I not fallen in love with Mike Ockrent, I could have never written Contact. I will be forever grateful to him. This award is more special than you'll ever know. Thank you very much. I'm honored.
The front door, ready to say hello to Mel Brooks, and instead he launched into this song called That Face, which opens Act 2. He launched into this song, sang down my long New York hallway, and ended up on top of my sofa. And then he said hello. So right there, I was endeared to him forever.
get to live in Hades, where it's always 2 a.m., where it's party till you drop and never stop, 'cause there's nothing we condemn, where whatever you regret, you just forget, or better yet, forgive, where you're not afraid to die, and when you're not afraid to die, then you're not afraid to live, and you're living here in Hades, and I mean you're living well. Everybody comes to Hades, everybody goes to hell. Frogs! Right, frogs! They're the frogs, the adorable frogs. Not your hoity-toity intellectuals, not your hippy-dippy homosexuals, just your easygoing, simple, warm-hearted, cold-blooded frogs.
It was a wonderful time.
Saying the obvious to say she's endlessly inventive. Those of us who've worked with her know that she is as kind and sensitive and generous and as she is creative and patient. I was going to refer to a moment in Showboat which, of all the moments in which I've been somewhat involved in the theater, it is the one that still gives me goosebumps. It gave me goosebumps when she first showed it to us. It gave me goosebumps every time I saw the show, and it gives me goosebumps referring to it right now. There was a place, a montage in the second act of the show, where Susan wanted to show the audience what the genesis of the Charleston was. That it had, in fact, been created by the Southern black community, the have-nots, and appropriated in our country by our richest haves. And she did it in dance. It had more poetry, more metaphor. It was more extraordinarily specific, concise, and beautiful than any other choreographer on earth could have made it. So I'm, along with everything you've just seen, so grateful for Susan. This award, which we're going to march out here, a lovely lady who's extremely tall and extremely beautiful is going to bring it. You can kill me for that, right? I'm sorry about that. Anyway, here we go. Thank you. It's called the Elan Award. Elan, for those of us who checked it out this morning in the dictionary, means impetuosity or flight. There's another phrase which even comes closer to Susan Stroman, and that's Elan Vital, and that simply means life forever. So here's to life forever, and here's to Susan Stroman forever.
Thank you so much. It's such, I usually don't like surprises, but this has been incredible, and to have Hal here, I owe so much to him. We did Don Giovanni together in Showboat, but over the years he's given me such wonderful words of advice and wisdom at all the different events that we've met up at, and so I thank him for his friendship, but also for everything he's ever said to me, because I've applied it to everything I've ever done. To have him here is incredible, and it's a wonderful, wonderful surprise. Getting this award is most special because it is about dance and about choreographers and about dancers, and I would be nowhere without my dancers. They are the real backbone of every musical I've ever done, and the success of any show has been because of the dancers, and so I owe my whole career to them, these wonderful New York dancers with whom I've worked. So to have an award be about dance and about supporting choreographers is very, very special to me. Choreography has brought me not only joy, but it's brought me great comfort. If I were sad or any comfort when in grief, it's been there for me. And I know I have a desperate, crazy passion for choreography. As I know all these wonderful choreographers that I've seen so far, I know that they have it too. And I have been trapped in an editing room for about 5 months. So it's not only wonderful to be let out, but also to see live dance and live people and hear them breathing. And I don't want to touch them all. But it's been a wonderful thrill to see it and see all these inventive minds at work. I also not only want to thank everyone who played a part in putting tonight's celebration together, but especially Bruce and Geoffrey, that they would even have an idea to do this, how special this is, to even have the thought to put on a show that would gather choreographers together and support them and let them have the opportunity to show their work. It's such a wonderful thought, and as Max Bialystok said, worlds are turned on such thoughts. So I think something like this needs to be supported, and I think the more that it is done, it will turn out to probably be the biggest event of the year. I thank you all for being here, and thank everyone for being a part of this. This has been very, very special. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome New York City Ballet's Tom Gold.
Kiss me, baby, all through the night, oh, baby. Do you wanna dance?
I told you I don't dance.
That's cool. But you know, my friend, the night is young. Do you wanna dance under the moonlight? Kiss me, baby, all through the night, oh, baby. Do you wanna dance?
I told you I don't dance.
That's cool. But you know, my friend, the night is young.
This year I'm going to do Love, which of course, you know, I always love doing a version of Love. What is love? Who knows, right? So this year I want to do something really sweet and really simple, and the feelings that you have in the beginning of love, when you're first falling in love. So it came from me originally thinking about all the turmoil and everything that's going on in the world with all the hurricanes and all the different things. And I had originally wanted to recreate a piece that I had done a few years back. And it was based on how wonderful the world is. And then out of that, I started thinking about, you know, all the different things you can love about the world. And then, of course, you know, it always goes back to a person. So for me, it started with another thought about the world and love, and then I just took it to where I wanted to do something really simple and fun and just different from what I usually do. Believe it or not. You'll see.
The very thought of you what a day this has been, what a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Why, it's almost like being in love. There's a music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I would swear I was falling, swear I was falling. Why, it's almost like being in love.
It's a wonderful world. I'm just a walking on air. Talk of heaven on earth, I've got more than my share. Haven't got a care. Happy all day through. It's a wonderful world. Loving wonderful you. Walking on air. It's a wonderful world. I've got no more than my share. Haven't got a care. Happy all day through. It's a wonderful world, a loving, wonderful you. It's a wonderful world, a loving, wonderful you. It's a ring-a-ding world, a loving, wonderful you.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore can love. It's all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can't make it. Take my heart, but please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. L is for the way you look. You're looking at me. And O is for the only one I see. V is so very, very extraordinary. Now E is even more than anyone that you adore can love. It's all that I'm gonna give to you. Oh, love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can't make it. Take my heart, but please don't you break it. 'Cause love was made for me and you. I'm telling you that love was made for me and you. Don't you know that love was made for me and you?
Well, see, that's why we're not going to tell the audience what the piece is about. I mean, it's about whatever you think it's about. When I first started working on the piece, I told each dancer it was about something different, like one by one, because I set their solos first, and I told them, I know the dancers so well. I know their history and their dramas and all of that. So I told them it was about something different. And then when they all came together with their solos, it just worked. I mean, it worked. And then they all started talking about what they thought the piece was about, and realized I had told them all different stories, so I got busted on that part. But it worked, it worked. I mean, I know what it was about to me, and then I just knew what I wanted to pull out of each dancer. And knowing them so well, I could manipulate them just a little bit. But it worked, and I'm really happy with it.
one of the pieces of music that I'm using now, I grew up with on Sesame Street when I was a kid, and always in the back of my head, I had always wanted to use this piece of music. And because it flips that switch that brings you back to childhood and all those memories and all the fun. And then I started to look at the piece, and the music and what the dancers brought to the piece would make me crack up during rehearsal. And so with this, I went back in the 3 different trios and tried different things and to tell different stories and even go to different parts of the world with the stories. So I'm actually happy with this piece. I don't know if you're ever really happy with your work. I think we're all perfectionists and we all want to go back and change things. But actually pretty happy.
The time is exactly 3 o'clock.
I like to think I work really closely with music, so I know my music when I walk into the studio, and I sometimes use the structure of music to move me along. It's just a guide for me. But we work with silence too, and that is like music too, just depending on how you hear the silence. But I usually picture the dance on some level. I see it, so I just start unraveling the picture. I just start deconstructing it and putting it out there for my dancers. So I may have a phrase, I may have a characteristic phrase, I may have some rules for design that I've come up with. I used to, when I was early on, choreograph everything on my body. I used to have something I called, choreographer's headache, because I had everybody's parts in me and written down in little diagrams, and it was my own kind of notation, and I don't do that anymore. I don't need to do that. I mean, I think when you've been making a lot of dances, you have your process, and generally I have more movement than I can use, and generally I have more ideas than it's more of a question of editing.
it's not about wanting to make people dance or to get out of their seat and say, oh, I want to go take dance class, I want to go take tap class. It's about getting into their head and saying, oh wow, I've thought about those things. I've really never expressed them, but, or yeah, I remember one time I tried that. And, you know, it just basically touches a different part of their senses rather than, you know, oh, that was really beautiful, I want to go take a ballet class, or so on and so forth. So.
Watch my lips, they whisper the words you taught me to. I am your mirror, I have been since time began. When you need power, I am your satisfaction. And when you breathe on me, I go misty.
It's dark in here. Visions are flashing into my head as I reminisce. My reoccurring dreams, and you said, I'm falling, falling for you, babe. And my feelings are getting stronger, so why don't you stay with me for a can see it in your eyes, and I can tell by your body each. Why are you taking so long? You need to come and find me, honey. Set your mind at rest and let your dreams run free. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Yeah. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. And I'll come here, boy. Come here, boy. Yeah. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Oh, you know I'm no stranger in our dreams. Oh, you know I'm no stranger in our dreams, and I'm no stranger in your dreams. Oh, and I'm craving, I'm howling, I'm begging, I'm pleading, be mine tonight. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, when I'm waiting and I'm dying, I'm wanting and I'm needing to show you this thing, where I'll be touching and holding, caressing and giving you your every fantasy. Yeah, I'll get you dreaming and I'm lost it. I'm falling and I'm crying for more of this ecstasy. Oh yeah. Come here, boy. 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 And I'll come here, boy. Come here, boy. You know. You know. That I'm no stranger.
Me his name I want to know, the way he looks and where you go. I need to see his face, I need to understand why you and I came to an end. Tell me again, I want to hear, broke my faith in all these years, who lays with you at night while I'm here all alone, remembering when I was your own. I let you go, I let you fly. Why do I keep on asking why? Let you go now that I've found a way to keep somehow more than a broken vow. Tell me the words I never said, the tears you never shed. Give me the touch, the one you promised to be mine. Or has it vanished for all time? I let you go, I let close my eyes and dream of you and I, and then I realize there's more to love than only bitterness and lies. I close my eyes. I'd give away my soul to hold you once again and never let those moments end. I let you go, I let you fly. Now that I know I'm asking why, I let you go. Now that I've found a way to keep somehow. More than a broken vow.
But I would say as a choreographer, you know, it's like, or as a director, I mean, all you can really express is your opinion towards a thought or an idea or a concept. And beyond that, I mean, everyone is going to have a different opinion of this drug or this, how you would express this song. So, I mean, all I can really do is express what I think this song and this concept, you know, expresses. And beyond that, I mean, you know, that's sort of like my fingerprint, you know, it's like everybody's this individual. So my way of doing it is never going to be the same way that you would do it or somebody else. But that's what is so cool about, you know, being creative is, you know, you could take the same concept, same piece of music and the same 10 dancers and a completely different thing would emerge, and that would be just as wonderful as what I did, and that's what I think is so cool. And so you just have to learn to trust that your fingerprint and what you express is the right answer because it's your opinion. So.
Hey, Mr. DJ, put a record on. I wanna dance with my baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the 2005 Elan Award choreographers, Jeff Amsden, Nina Buisson with David Kiefer, D. Caspary, Caron Eule, Danielle Genest, Rebecca Kelly, Graham Lustig, Rhonda Miller, Bradley Shelver, Tracie Stanfield, Lauren Putty, and Geoffrey Doig-Marx.
One last thing that we do at the end of the show, I would like to thank you so much for coming out and supporting dance and supporting all the choreographers, and thank you so much. It is my honor and privilege to present the Spirit of the Elan Award. The Spirit of the Elan Award goes to a choreographer for several different reasons. This year's Spirit winner has been with us for many years, and they've also taught at our masterclass series and been instrumental on the growth of our show. This choreographer's work has grown and reflected many different styles throughout the years. Ladies and gentlemen, the Spirit of the Elan Award goes to Tracie Stanfield. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And once again, thank you so much for supporting dance and the Elan Awards, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Please come back and join us again in 2006 and visit us online at www.elanawards.com. Thank you very much and have a very pleasant evening.